Welcome to the Morning Blitz with John Abraham, Captain Cool, and the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. Call into the Neighbors Wealth Management Hotline now, 256-576-4977. That's 256-576-4977. Now, here's Captain Cool.
Hello and welcome in to the Morning Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman Bailey Lowery. And I was not expecting that voice crack, okay, Bandy, but I kind of knew it was coming because last night we got into some very fun stuff. We went down to the Von Braun Center to watch a little bit of wrestling, a little bit of AEW, and me, the Bandyman, the Chad, and some friends hopped on down there. And I gotta admit, what a fun night. And Bandy, we'll get into a little bit more of this here in a second. We'll just go down all what we're going to be talking about today, because today we're going to be talking about a lot of the fun stuff that went down. Not just the AEW action, but on top of that, also the semifinal action that we saw. Bucks basketball ended up winning against Helena. We'll be getting into a little bit more of that as well. On top of that, Alabama and Tennessee is getting set up to be one of the biggest matchups in all of college basketball, as Alabama, of course, wins against Ole Miss, and Tennessee gets the dub against Auburn, and now they're slated to play on Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun to see who's going to take that league going into the tournament. And on top of that, the combine starts out in Indianapolis, so we might be touching a little bit on that, but we've got so much stuff to get into, it's not even funny, because we also have to hop into a little bit of the MLB, because spring training is in full swing, and I got to see a little bit of the Yankees, because, you know, I've been slowly trying to get myself into a little bit of this baseball this season, and I'm a Yankees fan myself. I also love the Braves. Bandy, you're the big Braves fan here, though, but I was watching this this Yankees squad, and I'm just thinking, whenever they got their full squad in, you got the Aaron Judge, you got Juan Soto, you got Verdugo. I mean, all of these guys, this lineup that we might be seeing, which it's all over the place because it is spring training, all right? There's going to be a few of the no-names being thrown in to try and be some of those names that are on the roster going into the season. But, I mean, if you throw in Anthony Volpe, if you're going to throw in Rizzo, I mean, this whole squad, this offense is going to be elite going into 2024, and I'm so excited to see it. It's definitely getting me pumped up for the MLB season. But Bandy, we gotta talk a little bit about this night that we had. All right, AEW comes to Huntsville. We get to see it all go down. Chad's got me pumped up. Bandy's got me pumped up. We're going down. I stop at Bandy's place. We walk down there, all right? It's very cold for whatever reason after a very warm day, all right? But it's about to get heated up. As soon as we get into the Von Braun Center, we finally step in. We sit down. Our seats are very nice, I will say. Thank you very much, AEW. We appreciate that.
I know, from my impression, I thought we were actually going to be sitting kind of like in the top deck,
Yeah.
like getting like an overhead view of the ring. But no, we were actually like pretty close.
Yeah.
And let me tell you, that might have been the most fun thing I've ever been to live.
It's been a minute, all right?
It was incredible.
For whatever. Okay, so I'll say my honest opinions, all right? So for the longest time, I've never really been too into wrestling. Of course, like, people have always talked about it. I've always known about John Cena, The Undertaker, Rey Mysterio, all the main dudes, all right? When it comes to AEW and all of the other leagues that go down, I had no idea what I was going to get myself into. I will say this. Some of the acting, it was a little out there. But whenever they started getting into their little fights and stuff, it took me a second to finally take it a little serious. And once I started taking it serious, I was like, okay, so these guys, they're actually doing some pretty dangerous things. I would be scared that I would, jump over the ropes and land on my head or something like that. These guys have no fear whatsoever.
You kind of had that Orange Cassidy guy kind of do a little Rey Mysterio, like looping around the guy, trying not to get thrown.
Yeah, we got to see a lot of faces that we've never seen before. We got to see, of course, we got to see Sting. We got to see Orange Cassidy. We got to see a few of the other dudes.
Chris Jericho, I recognized.
Chris Jericho was there.
Poor Chris Jericho.
Yeah, I know, dude. He's getting up there. The Nature Boy was there. I mean, it was really just a spectacular event. And of course, you guys will be able to catch that on TV. But I gotta say, watching it live, you could see that some of those punches were pulled, but at the same time, you can't act in those flips off of the side of the ring. I mean, that stuff, it ends up turning into one of those sports where, although, it may be a little scripted,
you can't fake gravity.
You can't fake gravity, Bandy, all right? And some of those jumps off of the ropes were ridiculous, and the spectacle, it was a spectacle, all right? 4 hours long, you get to sit through the entire thing. It was nonstop entertainment, and once I started getting into it, I felt like everybody was getting into it, and we all started having fun. It is all just a very fun event, I will say.
Yeah, no, and listening to the crowd, too, like how the crowd just was involved in literally everything.
Yeah.
What was fantastic because it was like the first match too. It was like that powerhouse guy.
Yeah. And
he was ready to do like a backbreaker. It's almost dead quiet in the arena, and you just hear a guy in the back row go like, "Break his back!"
There was a lot of funny stuff being thrown out from the crowd all the way up into the ring. It definitely was a great night, and I'm glad I got to go to it. I'm glad I got to go to it with my boys too, because I know Chad had a very fun night. And also, some of the friends that came by as well were really getting into it themselves. But if we're going to go into real sports, though, I think the first thing we got to jump into, Bandy, would be that Buckhorn basketball team, because what a game. Bandy, we got to watch it over Discord.
Yeah, we did.
It was very fun. Of course, we didn't go all the way to Birmingham because, of course, we had a show yesterday. The game was at 10:30. It would have been a little too difficult for us to do that.
Early.
But I will say, what a game. If I could sum up the most hype day in all of 2024 so far, I would say it was February 28th, okay? Because we get Buckhorn coming back against Helena, getting the dub. Caleb Holt putting up 37 points, 7 rebounds, 6 steals, 4 assists, 3 blocks. This kid was doing it all. If I could compare him to something that is a little popular for today, I would say he's like the Avatar, all right? The Last Airbender, the Last Hope. This guy is as elite as people make him out to be. Look, we get to see him a little bit during this season. He's putting up an average of 20, 22 points. Okay? You love to see it. But we also get to see the rest of this team also building alongside him. Fred Derrick, Austin Childress, Jeremiah Wilson. We talk about these guys left and right. Yesterday, against that Helena Huskies team, it was the Caleb Holt show. Again, 37 points. This man dictated the game. He dictated how this offense ran, and it got to the point. And this is the only thing that I'm a little bit worried with this team is in these big games relying too much on Caleb Holt. If Caleb, I mean, it gets down to the point.
I don't know. I wouldn't say relying too much.
I will say
because because the way they were playing, they weren't really relying on too much. They were literally just feeding him the ball.
They were.
Because they saw that Caleb was getting hot, that he's able to have this playmaking ability. You got a guy like that can create any kind of shot he wants to. Yeah, you're going to feed him the ball almost every offensive possession because it's going to be, hey, we're driving in. Is Caleb open? Oh, yeah, he is. Boom, feed him the ball. Because that's what they would do. They would be driving in, they'd create space, and they would look for Caleb because he was finishing or he was getting fouled.
It didn't even matter if he was open.
Sometimes both.
It didn't even matter if he was open, Benny. This is a grown man who's a sophomore in high school. He was bodying out 3 guys in the paint, able to get it up, and 1 foul hits the 2 buckets, so that he goes on and does it again.
Yeah, pretty similar to what we saw him do last year.
Yeah.
Like during this same time period. During this same period, too.
Yeah, in these big games, Caleb Holt knows to show up, and he did a great job yesterday, and he will have to do an even better job against this Mountain Brook team.
The rematch.
It's the rematch we've been waiting for a year, Bandy. Mountain Brook was able to push past Carver 46-43. Very big defensive game, but I like to look at the back and forth between these two teams, like what their last 5 games have looked like. There have been some nail-biters for Buckhorn, but it is insane to see that a majority of their games are 10-plus points over the other team. We go back to Lee. This was to get into this bracket in the first place. 62-30. Understandable, all right? Understandable. In their own area, Buckhorn is elite. They go up against Hartselle, a little bit new team that they don't face off too much against. It's been a year or so since they played them last time. 70-43. Then they go up against Clay Chalkville, a team that was leading for a majority of this game until Buckhorn was able to come back because of some good pushes in the second quarter. They were able to get 61 points on a good Clay Chalkville team. Very aggressive Clay Chalkville team. Clay Chalkville put up 51 points. So right there, 10 points over a team that was leading them the majority of the game. And then Coleman, a game that we were going into like, okay, revenge tour for Coleman. What are they going to be able to do? Not much. 62-37. Buckhorn gets the dub and then moves on to get over Helena after, again, trailing for a little bit of this game. It was at one point, Helena was
they were down at halftime.
Helena was up 8 points, late in the third, and then in the matter of like 48 seconds, Buckhorn was already able to bring it back, and then they were able to close it out with Caleb Holt helping out, of course, drawing the fouls, slowing down the time, getting to the line, and draining some free throws, and the Buckhorn was able to do it and win that game 60-47. With this Mountain Brook team, again, solid performance from them for these last 5 games, of course, able to trail past the majority of their earlier opponents like Gardendale, where they were able to get 62 against 42, and then you see their past matchups. We don't care about those ones. We like to get deep in the tournament. Against Homewood, they were able to put 55 up against their 49, and then against Carver, it was a little bit of a defensive matchup. 46-43. Again, good Mountain Brook team coming in to rematch against this Buckhorn Bucks team. Right now, the votes are currently growing, and I know we got to hit that phone line, but Buckhorn, 62% of the fans are voting for them to win, whereas Mountain Brook has 38%. That will go up before that matchup on the 2nd. Bandy, Natty Dan's on the phone lines. Let's get him in. How you doing, brother?
Hey, listen, I got a question, but then also got something to talk about my Red Wings.
Okay.
Now, a lot of guys my age listen to your show. I got friends that are close to my age.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm listening to you, and every time you say Bandy, I'm thinking you're saying Vandy.
There ain't no reason for us to talk about Vandy right now.
Okay,
so
see, I've had the opposite problem. Every time I hear Vandy, I hear people saying Bandy.
So, all right, so explain to me why are you called Bandy?
Take over, Bandy.
Okay, so I grew up playing video games a lot. And one of my favorite characters was, Crash Bandicoot. So we just take the last part of that Bandicoot part, Bandiman.
That's it.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.
So you're telling me you're a couch potato?
Yeah.
A little bit.
A little bit.
Okay. I never got into video games.
Sports and video games.
My whole life was a video game, man.
No.
I lived a life, brother.
No.
I can't tell you the stuff I did on the air here, but, man, I lived a life. Anyway, with that said, let's talk about more important things. About my Detroit Red Wings. Putting a snowman on the Caps. Wow.
No.
Wow, this team is on fire. I wish I'd have put money on them, but in a way I don't, because I don't know if they can make it to the Stanley Cup and win it this year. But, boy, I'm telling you what, next several years, if he adds a couple more pieces, which Stevie Y knows how to get players and put them in the right position to make it melt with the veterans versus the rookies.
No.
Guys, I'm like, again, when I go back home, I'm going to put some Benjis on it.
Definitely a lot of big stuff in Detroit for Michigan altogether. I mean, the Detroit Red Wings, of course, have been doing really well as of late. But you got to remember, they're going up against this Islanders team tonight. And I'm not wearing my Islanders gear, but this is one of my teams.
Okay.
They'll hold them consistent. But I will say the goals will probably still drop for the Red Wings. The Islanders have been struggling in that department.
What I just talked to you about, and I apologize to interrupt you, but what I was talking to you about just now is what I wanted to bring up at your dad's show yesterday. But he got me so freaking worked up because, he's dogging the Lions. Everybody dogs the Lions. Let's see if they do it this year. If they can do it this year, then I'll believe in them. I said, give me a break. All these years of being dogged, and even if we go into the NFC Championship game, should have won it, we still got dogged, and we beat the Super Bowl champs at the beginning of the year last year, okay? So, I mean, give me a break. We got a great general manager and a great coach, and that's what it takes because they drafted really, really good last year.
For sure.
Very, very productive with all the rookies. Probably the best of all NFL last year.
Yeah.
And that offensive defensive line is only going to get better. And, Swill's got to be re-signed, which I'm sure we're going to have money for him. He's a franchise player. But the bottom line is that, Tom, if it's not his Browns. Well, then his Browns ain't doing much better than me. At least I got an NFC championship. But anyway, I'm still upset.
Yeah.
Your old man knows how to light my fire. You know that?
He knows how to light everybody's fire. He's the big dog for a reason. He stay dogged people, but we appreciate you calling in, Dan.
All right, see you.
We'll get you back on. I know. The Red Wings are doing very well. I'm glad to see they're doing better, but I've never been a fan of them. I'm sorry. That one's one that I can't agree with Natty Dan on. Michigan, I can give him some leeway. I can give him some leeway on the Lions, too. I've never had a problem with them, but Red Wings, that's a little bit of a different story. We got to hop into a break. When we come back, we're getting into more of the fun stuff here on a Thirsty Thursday in No Man's Land on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
SportsMed is the official team physicians of the Rocket City Trash Pandas. And if the pros trust SportsMed, you can too. SportsMed provides every service you might need for complete orthopedic care, specializing in orthopedic surgery, sports medicine, joint replacement, spine surgery, neurosurgery, and podiatry. And they offer their own brace shop, in-house full-body MRI, physical therapy, walk-in clinic, and so much more. 4 locations and on the web at sportsmedalabama.com.
By now, you know about Eagle Masonry and Insulation, and maybe you know that Eagle also does landscaping and dirt work. But how about after paint work? Shower doors, shelving, and mirrors, all taken care of by Eagle, the same Eagle that takes care of all your masonry, insulation, and landscaping needs. Eagle brings the same level of expertise to all these disciplines, and they're ready to provide you with a free quote. The website is the same, insulatewitheagle.com, as is the phone number, 256-755-1556. Give them a call and see what Eagle can do for you. Eagle saves you time. Eagle saves you money.
When I chose a garage door company, I did my homework. I needed Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. They have a 5-star Google rating. I checked their reviews and liked what their customers had to say. Precision Overhead Garage Door has lifetime warranty packages. Same-day service if I call before 2 p.m. If they can't make it the same day, my service call fee the next day is waived. They did a 25-point safety inspection on the door and operator. Now that's peace of mind. Residential, commercial, and gate services. Precision Overhead Garage Door Service. Call 256-400-4500.
Specializing in simple and affordable rentals, McCurry Van and Car Rental can make sure you have just the right vehicle for your next family vacation, weekend getaway, or if you just need transportation while your vehicle is being repaired. McCurry carries Ford Transit vans and Mercedes Sprinter vans, trucks and work vans, and more. And they offer discounted rental rates for long-term rentals. Now with 4 locations: Athens, Muscle Shoals, Coleman, and Huntsville. Log on McCurryRentals.com to make your reservation now. That's McCurryRentals.com.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. Going to be a touch on the chilly end of the spectrum. Highs only climbing into the lower 50s. We're dropping into the low 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to develop across the Tennessee Valley Friday morning. That activity is going to stick with us through Friday afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. We're going to maintain the opportunity for a little bit of rain through Saturday afternoon, but it is going to be warmer. Temperatures climbing into the low 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio.
Everything you need is just a click away.
I should up sometimes, silly.
Okay, almost everything.
Come on, pal. Tell your fortune.
Log on today. 977ESPN.com. 977 ESPN, The Zone.
So we talked a little bit of MLB, talked a little bit about the Yankees and their electric offense going into the 2024 season, but a team that's doing a little bit of the opposite, and I'm not dogging the Yankees pitching because they're doing fine in their own right, but nothing holds a candle.
It sounds like you're about to dog the Yankees pitching.
Nothing holds a candle, Bandy. No, I'm about to compliment another team because this is what they've got on anybody else, I would say, in the MLB. The Atlanta Braves, I mean, they just keep adding to their rotation when it comes to their pitching. Spencer Strider, of course, you got him. Max Fried, you got Charlie Morton. Those are the guys we all know. Bryce Elder, you could throw him in. These are all big names that are going to be able to strike out hundreds of guys this season. One dude that I'm going to be looking at is, of course, going to be Chris Sale from the Boston Red Sox. Coming over and playing now for the Braves. He obviously had a little bit of some injury-related concerns, but now that he's finally being able to pitch against some of these live targets, he's doing some good stuff for this Braves squad. We haven't got to see too much of him, but I think there's a lot of hype around this Braves bullpen because right now it's just a lot of success that you can just look at and say, these guys, this is a World Series type of bullpen for this Braves squad. So we're going to definitely be focusing on them a little bit more throughout this season because, of course, of course, that's the one big thing we want to talk about. Everybody loves the Braves. Ain't nobody got problems with the Braves.
You know, it's a team that also has a pretty big bullpen that actually not a lot of people like around here. People are also going to be keeping their eye on.
Who?
The Dodgers.
Oh, yeah. Dodgers got a lot, though.
I mean, with the signing of Ohtani and now also picking up Yoshinobu Yamamoto,
Yeah.
I mean, he actually looked impressive in the spring game. I believe it was yesterday?
Yeah, just a few days. I mean, it was probably
yesterday or 2 days ago.
There's so many baseball games. That's why it's hard to focus on the MLB and the hockey world right now. There's so many games going on every single day.
You could blink and your team's played 3 games already.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did with the Yankees. I have no idea what the record is because of that.
Yeah. But, I mean, you got a 2-headed dragon over there in L.A. with Yamamoto and Ohtani.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that starting rotation right there on top of already a good hitting lineup there over there in L.A., I mean, they're going to be a threat.
Yeah. Well, Ohtani's...
And I mean, they've already been kind of the gatekeeper to the Braves already.
Oh, Ohtani's not pitching, is he? I thought he was going to be he's just going to be hitting for the first season or two for the this Dodgers squad. But he did already hit a home run in his debut, so there's a lot of good things to look at with that team. But, again... He did have Tommy John surgery, and, of course, that's a thing that'll take you out for a little bit, especially if you're going both ways. If you're hitting and you're pitching, you got to focus on one of them. And I think him focusing a little bit more on the hitting game for now is probably the best bet for him. But we got Jeremy on the hotline. Jeremy, how you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm good, man. Look, I just got to clarify 2 things for you. One, Ben Ingram is the best call play-by-play guy in Major League Baseball. Now that you got all the greats that have retired, I think he's up there, and I think he can make a great. I think eventually the Braves are going to end up losing him to TV, and they won't have him on radio eventually. But I'm gonna say this about Shohei Ohtani. Let's get back to him at the All-Star break and see where he's at. Because he just had a major surgery.
Yeah, fair.
And let's figure out how he's going to be because I'm not worried about the Dodgers.
No.
Not worried about the Dodgers. I think Atlanta has got a great team. I think they can handle the Dodgers. I think they can handle them in the playoffs. I think Atlanta's got a chance to run deep and get a good push. But I feel like we're going to have the same old Atlanta where they scare everybody in the beginning, and everybody's not going to really be like, oh, no, we had this team picked to win the World Series, and then they're going to come on late, mid-season to late, and that's fine. I'm okay with that, but I'm looking forward to baseball. I've been looking forward to baseball ever since the last out of the World Series.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree. I mean, it's just a totally different feeling altogether in sports that you don't really get anywhere else. And although I'm not going to be sitting through, some of these baseball games, all right, not in person, I do have to say weekend games, you just like kind of sit back, relax, pop a brewski, and you just enjoy some ball. That's what it's all about. And I do agree with you, though. The Braves are going to be able to really hold a candle to any of the teams that they go up against, especially with that bullpen. But it is going to be a question to see how they start off because the last few years they've been sluggish right off the bat, but then they've been able to kind of get things going a little bit into the midseason and then, of course, going into playoffs. It's definitely going to be a lot to look at.
Well, their big thing this year is they're going to have to learn how to use Max Fried and not burn him out because he's the guy. Do they need to start treating him the way the Dodgers treat Clayton Kershaw? Or do they, what needs to be done? Because, man, it just seems like Max burns out every over September.
No.
You're talking about, man, he's kind of banged up. He's this, he's that. I think Strider's legs can keep him into he could play every day. That sucker's. I mean,
you're not wrong.
He is stout, man. He is stout.
Yeah. And with the addition of Chris Sale too, I mean, how are the Braves fans feeling? Because I mean, you get another guy that he's a pretty big name whenever it comes to the pitching game. He adds a little bit more of that depth, and on top of that, he's very confident in himself right now. Talking, just hand me the ball. You know, I can throw 4 days in a row. Let's go. Let's do it.
Well, everybody's worried about him thinking he's washed up.
Yeah.
But I feel like we can at least get a season or two like we got out of Charlie Morton.
Mm-hmm.
Out of Chris Sale.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I think we could have a good, because for some reason when guys come to Atlanta, except for Bartolo Colon and was it R.A. Dickey, but that they got a few years ago, and they fizzled out. But that was under old management when that happened. But I think Atlanta has a good opportunity now because they bring guys in and they get around these young guys. And it just seems like they kind of get revitalized a little bit.
I agree.
Like they get a little pep in their step, and they get out there, and they're just like, hey, baseball's fun again. I mean, and it seems like baseball is fun in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem like they've fallen into the Red Sox or Yankees or Dodgers demographic yet of, you play for the Yankees and you have any facial hair, you have to shave it all off. Or anything like that. They haven't fell into that yet, and I don't think Atlanta will. So, I'm looking forward to this season, and I've really enjoyed watching these Braves the past few years. I mean, it's been fun to watch them, and that's exactly what baseball's needed was a team. Ronald Acuna has been great and everything, and he has been on my sometimes I stop and I'm like, hey, we did win a World Series without him, and that does creep into my mind sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
But regardless, I think that you got to learn how to play off somebody's ego and how to and put the proper people around him. And I think that I think they're actually starting to do that with him.
Yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely a lot of fun stuff going down for the Braves this season.
And it just seems like year after year too, like. The pickup of Matt Olson over Freddie Freeman just seems to get better. Just seems to age better and better.
I know right off the bat we were all a little concerned about it, but it's going into the right path. But we appreciate you calling in, Jeremy. Definitely with you with the excitement for baseball.
I am very excited. Hey, and I'll tell you another guy that everybody got worried about was Dansby Swanson, and I didn't.
Yeah.
I thought Dansby was 2 years past his exit. Anyway, I felt like he should have been gone way before we was, because I felt like he was. Everybody used to say Chipper Jones was overrated. Dansby Swanson was overrated. That's the player that was overrated. All right, guys, y'all have a good one, and let's get ready for some baseball. Go Braves!
Appreciate it. Go Braves! Good stuff, Jeremy. We will be implementing a lot more of the baseball, of course, with baseball getting into full swing. It's spring training, all right. We're not going to focus too much on the preseason of the NFL. We did, but, that's the NFL. But we got to hop into a break. When we come back, a lot more fun's to come on the other side. We're hopping into college basketball, trying to preview a little bit of this Tennessee-Alabama matchup that's right around the corner. That's what's coming up here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
This is Brent Musburger's VSiN Action Update on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
3 air-chilled boneless chicken breasts and 4 juicy boneless pork chops with your order. omahasteaks.com/VSiN.
Now, here are the latest lines from my guys in the desert.
The clock ticking till the start of March Madness. Right now in the ACC, North Carolina the favorite to win the regular season at -750 with Duke +350. In the Big 12, Houston a -650 favorite, followed by +350 Iowa State. Kansas at +9,000. Arizona's the favorite in the Pac-12, but the race is still alive. The Wildcats -250 with Washington State +170 right behind them. In the SEC, Tennessee and Alabama, the two favorites. The Volunteers -130, the Crimson Tide -110. South Carolina +1,500 to win the SEC. Get the latest lines and more at vsin.com.
From heirloom diamonds to contemporary jewels, Lowery & Company is the place to find something truly special. Whether shopping for a diamond ring for that once-in-a-lifetime occasion or marking a milestone birthday or personal achievement with a Rolex watch, you'll find just the thing in our edit of the world's most sought-after brands, including David Yurman, Roberto Coin, Marco Bicego, and Fopay. Expect a treasure trove of the world's most unique, even breathtaking earrings, rings, necklaces, and bracelets, making choosing just one piece a challenge in itself. Lowery & Company Jewelers on Airport Road.
Not looking or feeling your best? No energy for the things you like to do? Ready to look and feel younger? Make your appointment at Advanced Life Clinic, one of the region's foremost destinations for patients interested in looking and feeling their best. Specializing in advanced laser treatments and weight loss, male and female rejuvenation to offset the effects of aging, and more. See how Advanced Life Clinic can help you enjoy your life again. Call 256-882-6555 or log on advancedlifeclinic.com.
Did you know that Valley Equipment Rental also specializes in day and weekend rentals to homeowners? The weekend rentals is by far the best deal that they offer. If you pick up after 2 on a Friday or anytime Saturday morning, it's not due in until Monday morning before 8 a.m. for a one-day charge. For a small fee, Valley can even haul anything they carry. Valley has extremely experienced and knowledgeable staff that can help you decide what size machine you need or what type of machine you need to get your job done like a pro. They have all the big items that the contractors need for their jobs, but they also carry the small tools that can help you with your DIY project. More importantly, Valley is locally owned and operated, which means when you have an issue, you can get someone on it right away, right here in the Valley. Heck, ask for Ross Roberts, the owner, if you like. Try calling one of the big box national outlets and ask for the owner. That's if you can even get through the automation. Buy local. Buy Valley Equipment Rental. Valley Equipment Rental has 2 locations, one on the North and South Parkway. Learn more at valleyequipmentrents.com.
The state's largest orthopedic group is growing to meet the needs of the patients in our community. The Orthopedic Center has long been the most trusted name in orthopedics in North Alabama. So as our area continues on the fast track, so does the need for premier orthopedic care anywhere and anytime you need it. TOC is proud to announce the opening of our new locations in Albertville and Hampton Cove, along with the grand opening of our newest office in Decatur. These clinics will offer the same high-quality orthopedic care you have come to associate with TOC, with the convenience of being closer to home. As a patient, your time is your most precious asset, and we recognize that at TOC. That's why we are also proud to announce the opening of our urgent ortho clinics to handle those bumps and bruises that need prompt attention. These clinics are available to care for acute orthopedic injuries with no appointment necessary. With 38 physicians, 20 centers of excellence, and now more than a dozen locations to serve you, TOC will continue to be the name you turn to for the best orthopedic care at the right time. Visit our website at visittoc.com for more information. TOC, helping you live a better life.
Hello and welcome back in to the Morning Blitz. John Abraham, Captain Cool, alongside the Bandiman, Bailey Lowery.
Hey.
The Bandy Man. I'll try and put some more emphasis on it. I'm so quick with it. All I do is call you Bandy. That's the thing. And the funniest thing, Bandy, is that you're not called Bandy in my phone. So whenever I look up Bandy, I don't get you. I actually get your mom because I have Bandy Mom as the contact for her. So I gotta do some rearranging over there in the phone. But we got a lot of fun stuff to hop into. Of course, we talked a little bit of MLB. We talked a little bit of college basketball, some high school basketball. Even hopped into a little bit of the NHL scene just for a second. But now it's time to get into a good little conversation with one of our favorite guests up in Tennessee, and it's one Mr. Ryan Sylvia from VolReport.com to preview a little bit of this Tennessee-Alabama matchup we've got going on this weekend. Ryan, how are you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, we appreciate having you on as well. And kind of looking at that matchup last night, got a little scary at times. Auburn, of course, coming into town, and Tennessee able to get some things done with a little bit of help, just a little bit, from Dalton Connect. Kind of just talk about this kid because he is ridiculous. And also, this is his first year with this team. Kind of just talk about his journey a little bit and how he got here in the first place.
Yeah, it definitely helps to pitch a comeback effort when you have a guy that scores 25 in the final, I believe 12 minutes, while the other team only scores 21, 39 points on the night for Dalton Connect. Mm-hmm. And speaking of his journey, it's been kind of remarkable to see a guy that begins his career in JUCO, goes to a low D1 in northern Colorado, and then all of a sudden He's got 1 year of eligibility remaining, and it really comes down to Tennessee and North Carolina, two of the one program that's been here forever, been at the top of college basketball forever, and another one that kind of in the last handful of years has emerged as one of the better programs in the country. Ends up choosing Tennessee, and the rest is kind of history. In just 1 year, what he's been able to do, essentially probably locked up SEC Player of the Year last night over Alabama's Mark Sears. It's been something incredible to watch, just a guy immediately come in and make an impact and really integrate himself into the culture here in Knoxville as well. He's a fan favorite. Everyone loves him. He stays after games to sign autographs, and he just kind of he understands his fan base, and it's been a quick transition for him here, and he'll go down as a Tennessee legend.
Yeah, no doubt about that. And, of course, I mean, there were some records that were thrown at us yesterday from his top-tier performance. He's the first of all player to record back-to-back 35-plus point games since Allen Houston back in the early 90s. Kind of just talk about, okay, you know, the difference. We see this stuff all the time. People throwing up 30, maybe even get to 40, 50, these crazy numbers in the NBA. Talk about how difficult it is, though, to do that in this college scene, especially in 2024.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, especially with the defenses he's had to deal with. When you look at the game against Auburn, Bruce Pearl said, hey, we're just going to double team him. At times there was 3 guys guarding him at a single time, and it was like, we're going to make anyone else on the floor beat you. And that's a little bit of what's kind of different about the college game than maybe the NBA game, is it's really tough to get away with the double team in the NBA because every player on the floor is the best in the world and capable of making things happen. And Tennessee is a really deep roster as well and was able to make them pay at times when they sent the double team. But it's more of a viable option, I guess, to really hone in on one guy and say, all right, don't connect. You're not going to beat us. We're going to try to make someone else beat us. But from whether it was him passing out of it and finding open guys when they did go to that, or just simply saying, I don't care, and shooting over a hand directly in his face, it didn't really seem to matter what they sent at Dalton Connect. He got things going.
Ryan Sylvia with us from volreport.com, and kind of moving on to Saturday. Like, this is like the battle for the SEC, essentially. Like, both teams, like, neck and neck each other within the conference. Tennessee's going to Coleman Coliseum, and Alabama's going to try to put the pressure on early with their guards, try to just essentially leave no room for Dalton Connect to work. What's going to need to be the game plan for Tennessee to try to get a leg up early and get ahead against the Crimson Tide and Coleman?
I think you got to go into the post again. When they played last time in Knoxville early in the SEC schedule, Tennessee comes out with a 20-point win. A lot of that was the play of Jonas Adu down in the post. I think that's something they're going to have to look for. We saw it against Auburn as well. Adu was kind of the go-to guy for the first few minutes of that game to get them on the board, get things rolling. I think that's going to be really important for Tennessee. What can Jonas Adu give you on the offensive end when he either, if he falls into foul trouble or has to sit a little bit just to catch his breath? What is Tobe Awaka, your backup center? What can he give you in the post as well? Obviously, we know Dalton Connect's going to get his. We're kind of used to seeing what Josiah Jordan-James and Santiago Vescovi can do around him and kind of be those spot-up guys at times. But what are you going to get from the post is my question right now. If Tennessee can go in there, get some production from Jonas Adu on both ends of the floor, I think Tennessee stands a good chance in this game.
And I agree with you. It's going to be a good one down to the wire, especially with it being at Coleman Coliseum, because it kind of helps out where Alabama kind of falters is whenever they are on the road. But the same could be said at times for this Tennessee team. I mean, they're able to play up against some good competition in their own homes. They were able to put up 103 on Kentucky earlier on in the month. Kind of just talk about the home environment for Alabama and how big that is in this game for Tennessee to try and overcome.
Yeah, Coleman's not an easy place to play, and right now, at this point in college basketball, it feels like maybe the most home-biased season that we've had in a long time, where it's just been so tough for these away teams to go and win on the road. Even when it's a team that's pretty highly ranked going up against a team that's maybe outside the top 25 on the bubble or even off the bubble, it's just been really tough. You look at Tennessee, and they have a handful of games that they're probably sitting here saying we should have won that. There's not really an excuse. Texas A&M a game they definitely want back. Mississippi State very early in the SEC slate, even traveling down to Georgia early. They ended up winning that game because of another ridiculous night from Dalton Connect. But for a while there, it looked like they might have fallen in Athens. So it's not even just like a Tennessee thing right now that they're struggling in some of these games on the road. It's just kind of a college basketball thing. Home court advantage is ridiculous, and Alabama's got one of the better ones in the SEC. So it won't be easy for Tennessee, but also at the same time, there's been moments where Dalton Connect has kind of looked at away environments, looked at crowds that aren't fans of him and are being loud in his face, and he's kind of taking his game to another level. So it'll be interesting to see what version of Dalton Connect we get, and if that away crowd kind of feels him even more.
Oh, yeah, definitely excited for it. And I'm also excited that we get this only a few days after these two good matchups, of course, with Alabama over Ole Miss and then Tennessee over Auburn. But, I mean, looking forward even past this Alabama game, it's not like the season's over after this point. You got to go up against South Carolina in South Carolina, and then you got to go up against Kentucky yet again. And you know that that team is going to make some changes. Kind of just talk about the final two games of the season and kind of how you're looking at them.
In South Carolina, a team Tennessee's already lost to once this year at home. Their only home loss of the season. It's been a while since they've dropped one in TVA. Have to go back to last year against Missouri, which came at kind of a half-court heave at the buzzer. So teams have really struggled in Knoxville, but South Carolina was able to get the job done. You have to think Tennessee's not going to kind of take that one lightly, even though last season, when you look back to Lamont Paris's first year over in Columbia, Tennessee won both games by 40. Well, now all of a sudden you're the team that's kind of going out for revenge. So even though you're on the road in that one, there should be a little bit of an extra push from Tennessee, just knowing that they dropped the one before. And sometimes having that film on what went wrong can be really beneficial. And then Tennessee and Kentucky, I mean, you can throw everything out the door for those games. That's maybe the best basketball rivalry right now in the SEC. Those two teams, just previous history, trends, anything that you can try to look at to predict what's going to happen never seems to be the case, because it's just one of those games where anything can happen. And Tennessee got the upper hand in Rep Arena earlier in the season. It probably feels decently good now that they have them at home as well, but like I said, you really never know what's going to happen in that rivalry.
Yeah, no doubt about that. Three of the biggest games, I would say, in college basketball, especially in the SEC, coming from this Tennessee team. It's going to be a lot of fun to see it all go down. But, Ryan, we appreciate you hopping on. Didn't want to keep you too long because we know you got to celebrate a little bit more and, of course, prep for that matchup on Saturday, March 2nd. So let the people know where they can find you on socials and online to keep in touch with all things Vols.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter over at Ryan T. Sylvia, and then you can head over to VolReport.com to find our written content. Of course, men's basketball, big stretch. Lady Vol Senior Day tonight, setting off for Kia Jackson, Jasmine Powell, and possibly a couple others, but it's hard to keep track with all the COVID years and all these extra years of eligibility. And then baseball season started as well, so everything you need Tennessee Athletics over at VolReport.com.
For sure. Good stuff, Ryan Sylvia. Ryan, we're going to definitely talk with you about some baseball later on as that season gets very underway, as well as off-season stuff. But for now, enjoy the weekend, brother. Good luck to the team.
Yeah, sounds good. Appreciate it, guys.
Appreciate you. Ryan Sylvia, VolReport.com. If you guys are Vol fans, that's where you get all your Vol news. Go and check him out over there. But we got to hop into a break. Why? Because we're talking golf in the next segment. Jonathan Liggett from Cherokee Ridge Country Club is going to hop on with us. You guys can also hop on with us. 256-576 or 256. Bandy, I forgot the number, man.
256-5764.
97.7. Thank you. That's why we got a little team action going on. If it was just my show, Bandy, we would have been sunk a long time ago. We're gonna hop into a break. We'll be back here on the Morning Blitz on 97.7 ESPN The Zone.
Hello, sports fans! The Alabama State Senate will soon decide if you get the right to vote on a lottery, casinos, and sports betting. But they need to hear from you. Did you know Alabama is one of only 12 states where you can't legally bet on sports? House Bill 151 allows you to choose whether you can place a bet on the big game this weekend. Call your state senator today and tell them to vote yes on the lottery and gaming bill. For more information, go to sportsbettingalliance.org. Paid for by Sports Betting Alliance. sportsbettingalliance.org.
The best place to get 50s diner-style homemade delectables is Bubby's Diner. Located at 8412 Whitesburg Drive Southeast, try their all-new expanded breakfast menu with homemade waffles, omelets, and shrimp and grits. With 3 generations of experience, Chris Bubby Belcher has the best burgers in town. Don't forget to leave without a homemade pie or a hand-spun milkshake. Give Bubby's a call today at 256-513-8080. Bubby's Diner, home of the donut burger.
When you call most roofing companies, all you'll hear is, you need a new roof. Not when you call Fleming. At Fleming Roofing and Restoration, we're focused on your needs, whether it's an easy repair or a full roof replacement. Folks around here trusted Fleming since 1965 for all their residential and commercial roofing needs. And as the area's storm damage experts, Fleming knows all the ins and outs of the insurance claims process. Log on FlemingHSV.com to schedule your free estimate today. Fleming Roofing and Restoration. We show up.
You've got to experience Toyotathon at Bill Penny Toyota. They've got the selection with over 700 new Toyotas to choose from. And they've got the extras with Bill Penny perks and a 10-year unlimited warranty. So get on over to Bill Penny Toyota today and experience Toyotathon. Bill Penny Toyota in Huntsville and online at BillPennyToyota.com. Bill Penny's Toyota 10-year unlimited warranty is valid through the 10th year of ownership. Valid on new vehicles only. See dealer for details.
Let's talk about the X's and O's of family entertainment. Every parent in Alabama knows the importance of being able to draw up an activity that'll get you out of the house for a couple of hours. But it needs to be affordable. It needs to be family-friendly. Above all, it needs to be fun. Now, let's talk about high school sports. Bang for your buck, school sports provide the perfect game plan for your family. You'll enjoy all of the drama and excitement competitive sports offer. You'll be supporting the future leaders of our community in a meaningful way. Best of all, you can take the entire family without breaking the bank. Heck, you won't even dent it. Now, enough chalk talk. Let's get out there and see what's playing at the high school in your community. School sports. Good for our kids, good for our community. This message presented by the Alabama High School Athletic Association and the Alabama High School Athletic Directors and Coaches Association.
From the Fox 54 Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman. A mostly cloudy to overcast sky this afternoon. Going to be a touch on the chilly end of the spectrum. Highs only climbing into the lower 50s. We're dropping into the low 40s as we head into the overnight, early into your Friday morning. Scattered showers and thunderstorms are going to develop across the Tennessee Valley Friday morning. That activity is going to stick with us through Friday afternoon. Temperatures only climbing into the mid and upper 40s. We're going to maintain the opportunity for a little bit of rain through Saturday afternoon, but it is going to be warmer. Temperatures climbing into the low 60s. I'm Chief Meteorologist Jordan Dressman on your home for ESPN Radio 97.7.
The Drive with Wes Neighbors and Steve Moulton. Listen weekday afternoons starting at 5 on 97.7 ESPN, The Zone.
It's perfect!
Hello, welcome back into the Morning Blitz. Presented by Fleming Roofing and Restoration, the guys you need to talk to about all of your roofing needs. If you need any roofing help, look them up online at FlemingHSV.com to fill out your free quote today. And remember that Fleming always shows up. Now, I talked that we're going to talk about golf, and we're going to talk about golf. John, he's on the Neighbors Wealth Management hotline. He's only got 5 minutes. Let's see if he can get all the information in, because this guy likes to talk, and he talks quick. So, Jonathan Liggett from Cherokee Ridge is our guest. John, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. I'm great, actually. I'm ready to get this 5 minutes in, my boy.
And I bet it'd be even better if you were out at Palm Beach Gardens in Florida to watch this event go down for the PGA, because these guys are sitting a little bit warmer than us right now. But just kind of talk about what's all going down in Florida and who we should be looking at when it comes to this Honda Classic for the PGA National Members Club.
Absolutely. First thing and foremost, it's actually not even called the Honda Classic anymore. It's actually called the Cognizant
What?
Classic.
The Cognizant, weird.
It is actually a information technology service and consulting company that bottom going to start sponsoring this tournament. Not sure why they took it over, but they did. But anywho, the tournament this week is a tough one. It's at the PGA National. If you don't know this course and you're a golf fan, well, you're not really a golf fan. This hosts where we call the Bear Trap. and that is number 15, 16, 17 of this course, and it is an extremely tough par 3, par 4, par 3 little sandwich there on the back, and it's going to show, okay? PGA National is a really tough course, has Bermuda greens all over the course. It's going to be super tough, and also not to mention, you said, John, it's in Florida. It's going to be super windy. So it's actually surprising to see the one and only Mr. Novak on top of the leaderboard right now, 7 under, because these past, let me tell you, the past winners, guys, last year at 14 under 1, 2022, 10 under 1, 2021, 12 under 1. So to see a 7 under already on the top of the leaderboard right now, not even finished with the 18, is extremely surprising. But we're going to get into a couple of guys I want to look at this week. And the number one, it's not because I think he's going to win. It's because he has his 500th career PGA Tour start. And he's starting it at this tournament. It's Mr. Ryan Palmer, okay? And if you don't Ryan Palmer, he has 4 career wins, 71 top 10 finishes, 44 top 5 finishes, 6 third-place finishes, and 11 runner-ups. So he's not the greatest of greatest players, but he has 4 PGA Tour wins, and it's his 500th start, okay? Mm-hmm. And I want to point this guy out because you don't see many guys having 500 events played, right? No. Okay? Even though he hasn't won the most tournaments, this guy right here, well, this guy part of a significant group of other guys who are on the Champions Tour now, are really experienced. Mm-hmm. So even though he's not going to go out there and be the show, the hitting the ball 350 yards being the whole big show out there, you want to watch this guy because these guys do whatever they have to do to win. And they have played so much that they're so experienced that on a course like this, with the conditions they're going to be playing in, this guy right here, you're going to see him hopefully hit some great shots and shape shopping on these balls and in these greens. So really watch out for Mr. One and only Ryan Palmer. And the second one is Rory McIlroy, okay, because he won back here in 2012. He got a run-up in 2014. Now, granted, he hasn't been back since 2018. But he won on the DP World Tour last month, and if you know Roy McIlroy, one of the greatest players of all time, okay? Mm-hmm. So don't put him out of your radar.
Yeah. Surprised that he's honestly still in it because, I mean, that's just what you can do in golf, though. I mean, we're talking about all these veterans, but why not talk about some of the young kids? One guy that, of course, we focused on earlier on in this year was a guy named Nick Dunlap, of course, Alabama alum. Yeah. He's tied 17th right now, 2 under. He's through 9. Kind of just talk about his performances as of late. Kind of just give us a little bit of something, what we should be watching from him today.
I mean, if you watch Nick Dunlap at the first tournament play, 18T Pebble Beach, or second tournament, my apologies. He didn't make the cut, but to watch him go from not making the cut at the 18T Pebble Beach to coming here to playing on a course like this in these kind of conditions after 2 signature events, to be tied 15th straight out of college, honestly, didn't even finish, but it's great to see for him, especially because it's a great confidence booster to be fresh on the tour. I mean, you've already won, so you got those jitters out of the way. Yeah. But you're still new to the tour. Now you have all these expectations. Now he's coming out here on a course this tough with these fairways and these greens. Though it's Thursday, the pins aren't super tough, but still, this is one of the hardest courses to play. This is a great momentum booster for Nick Dunlap. Yeah. This is great for Alabama. This is great for everything that has to do with Huntsville as well. So when you got Mr. Nick Dunlap being tied 15th at his age, what he's done, what he's still doing now, it's amazing. Not only do I think he's going to do great in this tournament, but upcoming tournaments as well. I think he's going to be a star. Quote me on it. Nick Dunlap is going to be one of the next best things. He's too good to not be. It's seeing what he's doing now. Amazing.
I think a majority of us Huntsvillians also agree on that. And to see it kind of happen with a guy that, doesn't have the same experience as some of these golfers who've played in 500 different events. I mean, it really is good to see. Tied 17th through 9, of course, day 1 of the – what did you guys say this thing was called? Consultant Classic?
The Cognizant Classic.
Cognizant.
So do they know everything? Is that the thing here?
No, you're just aware of it.
I don't know.
Oh, they're aware. Okay. I mean, that's what Cognizant means. Okay. I don't know. Some technology company. Either way, John, appreciate you hopping on, brother. We're going to get you back on next Thursday to talk a little bit more about that Puerto Rico Open, if that's what it's called. I don't know. Either way. Go and check him out.
Absolutely.
Over at Cherokee Ridge Country Club. Appreciate it, John. Get out of here.
Absolutely, boys. I'll be good.
See ya. I'm going to talk to him here in a little bit. For me and the Bandiman, we're out of here on a Thirsty Thursday. We'll be back in 22 hours for a fun Friday here in No Man's Land. See ya.
March Madness begins in the Rocket City as the Conference USA Men's and Women's Basketball Championships come to the Von Braun Center March 12th through the